Journey with us into the heart of the untamed, where danger lurks beneath the surface and fate lies in wait. Brace yourself for a gripping tale that will send shivers down your spine and make your heart race. It was a day like any other, as three intrepid teens set out for adventure, seeking thrills along the banks of an Australian river. Little did they know, this idyllic scene would become a battleground between predator and prey, testing their very will to survive. In the unforgiving wilderness of Litchfield National Park, ancient secrets and relentless nature collided, forever changing the lives of Ashley, Shaun, and Brett. As they ventured further into the unknown, they would come face to face with the most formidable of adversaries, a saltwater crocodile. Witness the gripping struggle for survival as they fought tooth and nail against the primal forces that threatened to consume them. Trapped on branches, they clung to life amidst the stalking shadows, never knowing if rescue would come in time. Miraculously, they would emerge from this harrowing ordeal, forever haunted by the sinister secrets that lie within the depths of this treacherous river. Welcome back to the DetectiVerse, where we unravel enigmas from across the globe, delving into the depths of history, revealing hidden truths behind both solved and unsolved crimes, and unearthing spine-chilling real stories that will haunt your thoughts. Join us as we delve into this bone-chilling real-life account that will leave you questioning your own perception of danger, explore the mysteries of Litchfield National Park, and discover why this Australian river is a place you should never swim in. On the fateful day of December 21st, 2003, at precisely 11:40 a.m., three childhood friends embarked on an unforgettable journey. Brett, a 22-year-old man, accompanied by his 19-year-old pals Shaun and Ashley, set out on a thrilling escapade. Hailing from Darwin, the coastal capital of Australia's Northern Territory, the trio sought adventure beneath the scorching sun and unpredictable weather. Having grown accustomed to the harsh living conditions and the constant threat of nature's deadly inhabitants, they yearned for a break from their mundane city lives. Their destination? A remote area located 50 miles southwest of Darwin, known for its vast open plains and perfect for their quad bike races. After securing their bikes onto a trailer and hitching it to their truck, the trio ventured deeper into the untamed wilderness. As they passed the Tumbling Waters Holiday Park, the last trace of civilization dwindled, leaving them utterly exposed in the heart of the Australian outback. The trees soon thickened, encasing them in a dense jungle-like environment, a sure sign that they were nearing the treacherous Finnis River. Although they couldn't yet catch a glimpse of the river itself, its presence lingered in the far distance, concealed behind the looming trees. The Finnis River, although not an expansive waterway, spanned a lengthy 30 miles across the top end, flowing from east to west. Infamous for its eerie, dark hue, the water was so opaque that one could barely see more than an inch or two below its surface. Almost resembling an inky void, the river held an aura of mystery. Relentlessly maneuvering through the dense jungle-like terrain, the road gradually revealed the salt flats on the left side. Seizing the chance to embrace the exhilaration of the moment, the men pulled over to the right edge of the road and promptly unloaded their quad bikes from the trailer. However, this particular day proved trickier, as the salt flats had turned excessively muddy due to recent heavy rainfalls. Nonetheless, undeterred by the challenging conditions, the men relished in the thrill of racing through the expanse, playfully splattering mud on each other. Time seemed to slip away as hours flew by, and with the clock striking 4:30 p.m., they unanimously decided to bring their unforgettable adventure to a close. With fatigue tugging at their weary muscles, they maneuvered towards their truck, dutifully securing their quad bikes. But before embarking on their journey homeward, an audacious notion tugged at their collective consciousness. Why not venture to the nearby water and cleanse their bedraggled garments of their muddy shroud? A seemingly innocent notion, perhaps, but in this desolate region, one ought to be wary of the unforgiving waters lurking in the top end. A lingering belief among the locals warned that any natural body of water not sanctioned for swimming harbored at least one lethal creature that could kill you. Such vigilance was paramount, and yet for these three companions, the idea of plunging into the untamed depths of the Finnis River was commonplace. After all, they had grown up in this unforgiving landscape, taking countless dips in the river to purge themselves of mud. And so, abandoning their trusty truck, they trudged towards the mangrove forest, its dark foliage beckoning them from the roadside. The aftermath of relentless rainfall was evident as they waded closer to the river's edge, their feet sinking into the waterlogged earth with every step. The once modest watercourse had swelled, breaching its natural confines, deluging the surrounding mangrove forest. A foreboding sight, one might say. Yet these intrepid friends exchanged hesitant glances and dismissed these eerie signs, pressing unflinchingly ahead. As the men cautiously treaded through the ominous darkness, the murky water stretched before them like a never-ending abyss. A treacherous drop-off hidden beneath the swollen river's boundaries added to their unease, compelling them to slow their pace. Shielded by the towering trees, they knew their destination was near. However, the journey took an unforeseen twist when one of them carelessly slipped over the edge, plunging into the frigid depths. Miraculously, he managed to latch onto the gnarled roots of a majestic mangrove tree, desperately hauling himself back onto solid ground. Gazing out into the pitch-black expanse, a certain uneasiness overcame the trio. The dark river moved with an eerie swiftness, defying its usual gentle flow. They took one last glance at it and each other, and they decided they would hold onto the roots of the mangroves while they lowered themselves and clean off the mud from their bodies. Each man grabbed hold of a root and lowered their bodies into the black water. Just as everyone was done and were ready to get out, an unforeseen tragedy transpired. Brett, in a sudden moment of imbalance, lost his grip on the root, succumbing to the relentless clutches of the impetuous current. Helplessly, he was swept away. As Brett was being carried away, he yelled to Ashley and Shaun. The two friends turned around and, without hesitation, jumped in the river to rescue their imperiled comrade. Though all three men were experienced swimmers, the seemingly harmless situation rapidly transformed into a perilous ordeal. Enveloped by the power of the river's raging current, fear crept into their hearts. Brett, now rapidly drifting away, pleaded for their aid. Time was of the essence. Determination etched on their faces, Ashley and Shaun glanced upwards to witness their friend's growing distance. Realizing that remaining in the water would lead to his irrevocable loss, they decided they needed to swim downstream as fast as they could to get to Brett, so they can all get out of the river in the same place. Guided by the strong current, they swiftly caught up to Brett within a matter of minutes. The three of them ceased their active swimming and allowed the powerful stream to carry them downstream. Their gazes fixated on the left bank of the river, searching for a refuge amidst a cluster of dense mangrove trees. They desperately needed something solid to cling onto in order to escape the treacherous waters. Positioned at the forefront was Shaun, followed closely by Ashley, while Brett trailed behind, their positions separated by a mere arm's length. And then, at the height of their suspense, Ashley's voice erupted urgently from the chaos, shattering the silence. "Croc! Croc! Not a joke! Grab a tree! Get out of the water!" Panic coursed through Shaun's veins, adrenaline overpowering his senses. Without hesitation, he propelled himself towards the nearest tree, located right in the heart of the river. This peculiar tree seemed to grow defiantly amidst the flowing currents. Shaun managed to clamber up to the first sturdy branch, approximately 6 or 7 feet above the water surface. Casting a quick glance downwards, he registered Ashley's presence below. Extending his hand in a desperate bid to save him, Shaun beckoned Ashley to join him on the relatively safer perch. Together, they turned their attention back to their missing comrade, Brett. Yet to their mystification, Brett was nowhere to be seen, as if he had vanished into thin air. Suddenly, Shaun's eyes caught sight of a flicker of yellow amidst the murky depths below. Puzzled, both Ashley and Shaun fixed their gaze from their vantage point around 10 feet above the treacherous water. Gradually, the mysterious yellow object ascended towards the surface, revealing itself to be none other than Brett. Clad in his distinctive yellow jacket, Brett was ensnared within the jaws of a massive 13-foot saltwater crocodile. Helpless and motionless, he lay face down, submerged beneath the unrelenting strength of the predator. A profound sense of terror consumed Ashley and Shaun, rendering them paralyzed in shock as they peered at the beast that held their friend captive. For what felt like an eternity, they remained transfixed, their minds filled with apprehension and trepidation. The crocodile, its steely gaze firmly locked on Ashley and Shaun, seemed to revel in the fear it instilled. It seemed to taunt them, communicating through its eyes what horrifying fate awaited them when they got into the water. Then, in an instant, the creature vanished, retreating into the abyss of the inky blackness. It was the last they ever saw of Brett. Overwhelmed by terror, Ashley and Shaun found themselves incapable of mourning their fallen friend. In survival mode, their emotions temporarily numbed, they focused solely on their own desperate struggle for survival. Without saying anything to each other, they started climbing to the top of this tree to get as high as possible. Shaun managed to reach the lower branch, approximately 10 feet above the murky water, while Ashley aimed higher, his grasp ensnaring a branch that sat 14 feet above the inky abyss. Settling into their perches, their hands tightly securing the tree's trunk, a moment of respite granted them the opportunity to gather their thoughts. Although their comrade had fallen prey to the monstrosity lurking beneath the surface, their minds fixated not on this ghastly encounter, but rather on their loved ones back home. Dread permeated their souls as they contemplated how their family and friends would soon discover their absence and mount a search and rescue mission. While optimism lingered, they were all too aware that no definitive time frame governed their deliverance. It could be hours, or it could be days before aid arrived. Nervously perched on their branches, the gravity of the situation consumed their thoughts. The harsh reality dawned upon them that their refuge in the tree was not long-term. Sooner or later, they would need to sleep, and if sleep overcame their weary forms, they would plummet into the water, straight into the clutches of the lurking crocodile. As the two comforted each other, Ashley's voice ceased mid-sentence, his gaze locking onto something sinister below. At the tree's base, concealed within the black depths, the colossal 13-foot saltwater crocodile lay in wait. Its maw, now devoid of Brett's unfortunate body, ominously hinted at the treacherous qualities of these apex predators. Regarded as the most ferocious and perilous crocodiles on the planet, these creatures possess an innate tendency to hunt humans when given the opportunity. Perched high up in a tree, they gazed down, trembling, at the menacing water below. The vile crocodile lurked, its sinister eyes locked with theirs. It seemed to taunt them, patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce and devour their very souls. Restlessly, the crocodile circled the tree, its head emerging from the murky depths, fixated on its unfortunate prey. Ashley and Shaun prayed, hoping that this merciless creature would tire and relinquish its pursuit. As the sun sank below the horizon, a glimmer of hope flickered in their hearts. It appeared that the crocodile had conceded, slipping beneath the water's surface and vanishing into the abyss. A respite, however brief, beckoned. But fate had a twisted plan. Minutes later, Shaun, who was perched on the lower branch, grew increasingly apprehensive about his proximity to the treacherous waters. Determined to escape its clutches, he sought refuge higher up with Ashley. Every movement was calculated, executing each step with extreme caution. Stretching out his trembling hand, he reached for a sturdier branch, weight shifting, when suddenly disaster struck. The branch snapped under Shaun's weight, hurtling him 10 feet below into the murky depths. As his body submerged, panic consumed Shaun's every fiber. Desperately, he fought against the water's pull, fearing the crocodile's imminent attack. Breaking through the surface, he scanned the dim surroundings, his tree barely visible in the fading light. The current had swept him away from the tree. Frantically, Shaun propelled himself through the water's depths, kicking his legs with all his might, longing to reach the tree before his doom. Deep down, he comprehended the danger his frantic limb movements posed. The crocodile could sense his vulnerability, honing in on his every splash and ripple. Yet he had no choice but to press on, fueled by sheer desperation. Ignoring the fatigue that gnawed at his muscles, Shaun persevered. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he grasped hold of a sturdy tree root, his lower half still submerged. With sheer determination, he hauled himself upward, inch by agonizing inch, his mind consumed by the dread of the crocodile savaging his defenseless legs. With sheer willpower, Shaun reached the safety of the trunk, dragging himself towards Ashley, who remained perched at the highest level of the tree. His arms quivered with exhaustion as he pulled himself up, his legs remaining tantalizingly close to the lurking predator. Ashley lent his strength, helping him onto his branch. Drenched and gasping for air, Shaun caught his breath, relief washing over him like a cleansing wave. But their momentary respite was shattered when they both cast their eyes downward. Mere feet away from the tree, where Shaun had plunged into the treacherous depths, the crocodile resurfaced. With the little light that is left, the crocodile swam right back over to the tree and camped out directly underneath. Shaun had managed to escape by the skin of his teeth. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the darkness descended upon them like a suffocating shroud. This desolate corner of the world offered no guiding lights. Unable to see the crocodile lurking below, they could only rely on the occasional sound of movement to remind them of its presence. With the pitch black enveloping them, the two young men clung onto each other for dear life. Every slight shift was announced to prevent any accidental separation. Hours dragged on, filled only with silence and darkness, interrupted by the ominous movements of the unseen crocodile. In the dead of night, a thunderous storm ravaged the land, releasing a deluge that drowned out all sound. The raindrops fell with such a deafening force that they drowned out even the crocodile's movements. The teens were left in a nerve-wracking silence, their only companion the deafening rain. It was impossible to discern whether the crocodile remained below, concealed by the impenetrable darkness. Their only glimpse of its presence was granted by the fleeting illumination of lightning, revealing the creature hiding beneath them. Hour after hour, they endured this torrential downpour, growing anxious as the rising water levels threatened to bring the crocodile within striking distance. They dared not let their legs dangle any longer, fearing that the rising waters could enable the predator to reach them. Finally, as the morning sun pierced through the heavy clouds, the teens breathed a momentary sigh of relief. The crocodile still lingered below, but the water level had risen significantly. It dawned on them that another heavy rainstorm could push the waters even higher, bringing the reptile within striking range. Panic heightened as they realized they had nowhere else to go. Their bodies weakened, their energy depleted. The cruel grip of hypothermia and exhaustion threatened to claim them, and time was running out. Yet at 10 a.m., a glimmer of hope emerged. They heard a sound of a police officer who was screaming out in the mangrove forest. Shaun's eyes never wavered from the lurking predator, his grip on the tree symbolizing his dwindling strength. The river, now swollen fivefold, refused to yield. Conventional methods proved fruitless. Swimming to safety was impossible, and a slow-moving boat futile. But salvation arrived in an unexpected form. Choppers that were once meant for the Timmersea oil rigs were now prepared for rescue missions. A 15-seat super plume chopper loomed above, offering an escape route for Shaun and Ashley. Their plan was simple: pluck the stranded pair from the protective embrace of the tree. But reality had other plans, as the gusts from the helicopter's blades threatened to tear the tree apart and knock Shaun and Ashley to their deaths. As the menacing blades of the helicopter sliced through the air, a chilling fear gripped the crocodile lurking below, forcing it to slither away into the murky depths. With the danger momentarily subdued, a rescue boat stealthily approached the scene, positioning themselves directly beneath the two young men. With trembling hearts, Ashley and Shaun mustered their courage and leapt into the unknown, placing their trust in the salvation that awaited them. The clock approached 3 p.m. when the hospital doors greeted Ashley and Shaun. Astonishingly, their bodies bore no physical scars, emerging as valiant conquerors of nature's merciless trials. Nevertheless, the relentless search refused to abate. It persisted day after harrowing day, relentless even on the day of Christmas, all in the desperate hope of discovering Brett's remains. Yet despite the efforts, his body was never found. Every December 21st, a poignant ritual unfolds. Ashley, Shaun, their friends, and Brett Mann's family gather where he vanished, a memorial etched in time. Every year, the cycle brings them back to that hallowed spot, a riverbank adorned with memories from 2003. In the midst of solemnity, words are exchanged, melodies fill the air. After the tribute, a barbecue and a few drinks pay homage to Brett's spirit. Emotions flow deep, a blend of grief and comfort. The survivors bearing witness to the horrors of that fateful day seldom speak of its details. Brett's parents, forever marked by their son's loss, took separate paths. Their union dissolved, and they left that place behind. The survivors, carrying the weight of that fateful day, continue onward, both physically and emotionally marked by the experience. Shaun and Ashley still call the region home. Shaun, now working in the family pool cleaning business, playfully warns customers to remove inflatable crocodile toys, a nod to the unexpected predator that became all too real for them. Meanwhile, Ashley bears the enduring impact of the trauma. Their haunting experience inspired two famously known horror movies, Blackwater and Rogue. As we conclude our journey through the chilling events that unfolded within the wilds of Litchfield National Park, we are left with questions that linger in the air. How does one find solace in the aftermath of such harrowing encounters? Could the shadow of closure ever truly quell the ripples of that fateful day? Let us know your thoughts down below.